Alright, so Thicko and Mr. Freak over here gotta be the most oblivious parents I've ever seen in a children's cartoon series. I'm sure a few of you might come across this, and will probably have your own candidates from different series. So please go ahead and let me know just how wrong I am. But from what I remember as a kid until now, Dexter's parents are at the top of the list for me. They're so far up there that there are no other parents contesting them for that spot. That's how bad they are at not knowing a damn thing about what's going on with their children or the ridiculousness that's happening within their own home. I had really good parents growing up. I hated when I tried to pull some sneaky shit off and they discover what I was up to. It felt like damn near nothing got past them. So to see Dexter and Dee Dee getting all sorts of bullshit off right under their parents' noses is wild to me. For the people who are curious or have other parents at that top spot for being the most oblivious, sit back and relax and see if I'm just talking a bunch of bullshit. Spoiler alert, but no, I'm not. I'm not talking bullshit. Pretty early on in the series, there was an episode that we see Dexter and Dee Dee's mother not feeling well, so she stayed her thick ass self in bed with her gloves on and everything. Which in itself is kinda weird, but I'ma turn a blind eye to it. Kinda like what the parents do this whole damn show. She tells Dexter and Dee Dee that they gotta handle cooking and cleaning. Of course, they're kids and they suck at it. Shocker, I know. But fed up with the turn of events after eating mud pie courtesy of Dee Dee, Dexter's buff-ass musclehead no-neck having ass self gets into the lab and makes himself a robo-mom to do the duties his mother usually does. Dexter even gets the waist-to-hip to thigh ratio right down to the T. He'd probably make a killing in today's surgical market. But anyway, Robo-Mom gets to work and she does what she's made to do. But then Dee Dee wastes no time stealing the control from Dexter, so Robo-Mom could do the bullshit that she wants to do. In retaliation, Dexter hops back right into the lab and makes another Robo-Mom. The two siblings use their Robo-Moms to fight as if they're playing 3D Street Fighter. Now this is where I could no longer suspend my disbelief. I let the mother staying in bed with her gloves on slide, as well as pointing out that how a few frames before the gloves weren't on, but then they magically appeared out of thin air. I ignored the fact that Dexter can do all this scientific shit in his lab but struggles with cleaning as if he doesn't keep his own lab clean. I also let it slide how Dexter's no-neck having ass was looking juiced up at around 9 or 10 years old? But this Robo-Mom fight is where I draw the line. I don't care how sick the mother is. You seriously want me to believe that she can't hear none of the ruckus that's going on downstairs? And that's not even the wildest part. The father returns home and he doesn't even flinch at the damage of the home. He makes nothing of the Robo-Moms even being there after going upstairs to see his wife in bed. Man, and maybe I can give the mom a slight pass and assume that she was knocked out cold, but I can't make any excuses for the father. Look here, man, that father only has one thing on his mind, and it's disgustingly understandable. Seriously though, where the hell is his brain? What's the deal with his cognitive abilities or the lack thereof? As a kid, I'd have been in trouble for not taking the chicken out of the freezer when my mom called me and told me to do so. No way would I be breaking shit at home and not catch a ass whooping. And you know Dexter and Dee Dee never got a good spanking. You don't need to look no further than the Band episode where Dexter accidentally removed the rude aspects of him and his sister, and then the clones with those rude aspects went out of the lab and were all rude with his mother, cussing up a damn storm.
Well, what do you think, Dexter?
I think it tastes like
At the end, after resolving the issue, Dexter and Dee Dee ain't catch a single lashing. All they got was some damn soap to their mouth.
Now to clean those filthy mouths.
oh.
Man, soft as fuck. Okay, I'm about to go off on a little tangent here, but I have to for a quick bit, okay? God, from the back of Dexter's head, his haircut looking chopped as fuck. What is that, a skin fade with leaving the top as it is? The longer I stare at it, the more it looks like the opening of a cylinder. Yeah, he looks like a trash can. Shit, let me stop, because Mandark's dome is even more insane. His neck looks like it's about to snap back at any given moment. My guy's head is shaped like a fucking light bulb. And how appropriate because you just know ideas are constantly going off in his head. His head looks like his brain has been constipated with thought ever since he was in his mother's womb. You just know his mother hated him for all the damage he did on his way coming out. Okay, I'm sorry, I just had to talk a little shit. Now, I didn't make the title the most obvious parents in the history of cartoons for shits and giggles. Just look at the cluelessness of the father. He sees a shit ton of clones running down the stairs for lunch and thinks nothing of it. You'd think the parents already know and just let Dexter do whatever he wants to do in his laboratory, and they just turn a blind eye to every odd occurrence that happens in the show. Like, okay, look at this. So I'm just supposed to assume that no one was home when this shit happened? Nor were any neighbors around to see the roof open for the heli to pop out? I already know this video is going to be longer than I intended, so I'm not even going to touch how big Dexter's laboratory is, given the fact that he has to drive around because it's so damn massive. Anyway, why the hell is... Damn. Anyway, why the hell was the mother as aloof as the father? I always thought Dee Dee took after the father while Dexter took after the mother, but how the hell would one confuse this thing as a dog? Man, I swear, if this wasn't a children's cartoon, I would have sworn that Dexter was adopted. I don't care that he wears gloves like his mother and he has her hair. Okay, so like, look at this.
Dexter! Dexter, what's I told you about?
It's okay, my sweet. Go back to sleep first.
How could you overlook your son going through some strong hallucination and not even question where he got all of that machinery from? Get Dexter some fucking help instead of cleaning the kitchen for the 9th time of the week. Hey, no lie, this is that enabling bullshit that some parents do, and then they wonder why their kids turn out the way that they do down the road. I'm not even lying when I tell y'all that I could probably make this a 2-hour video just going over all the shit that the parents are just way too oblivious to catch, because it's a damn near every episode thing. And especially with the mom. And I only say that because she's a stay-at-home mother, so she would definitely... Whoa, hold up. God damn, man. I'm sorry. I was saying how the mother should definitely be hearing all these explosions going off in the house, given that she's usually at home when the destruction is going on. You know, I was growing out of my cartoon phase when Phineas and Ferb were, years into their summer vacation? Because it felt like that show went on way longer than it was supposed to. Anyway, it felt like their parents would just never see the bullshit that they were doing, either because they were too busy or they just weren't around. And by the time Candace tried to snitch on her brothers, everything was cleaned up and taken care of, or it just magically disappeared. Again, I didn't really watch it, so I'm just going off the little that I do remember. But like, look at this, man. How the hell does Dexter explain this shit? Anyway, the father is on some different type of timing though. He doesn't even question why his kids are fighting here. In his mind, he's probably letting the kids be kids and probably assuming nothing too bad will happen. But it's still interesting to see. But he isn't slick. I'm on to him. I'm not saying this was his plan during the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gave Dexter this, so he and Dee Dee could continue to stay distracted so he could get some alone time with wifey. I mean, look at his sinister ass expression in the bed! Yo, what is that? Why is he looking at her like that? Yo, relax! Yo, it's crazy because, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is poking. And he just staring like, he's about to go crazy, man. Okay, bedroom business aside, you can't tell me that the father isn't living on cloud 9. Like, even in this episode with the babysitter when he and his wife is... Yo, hold up. Bro, what the fuck? I'm sorry, man, this show was really doing it, weren't they? There's no reason why this babysitter should have hips like this, bro. They did not have to build a babysitter like this, man. As I was saying, when the father and mother were really getting ready to go out for the night, the man didn't say a single word to the babysitter or his troublemaking kids. His eyes were closed shut. That's a man who's fully content. A man whose balls are habitually running on empty. What proof do I have, you might ask?
Ready to get wet? Almost.
Hi, Dexter.
Alright man, seriously, where the hell did the father come from? Where? That man really stepped out of the portal of heavenly cheeks. He got a PhD in cheek inspection. Man's a cheekologist. Seriously though, the man was already inside of her. Let's not even pretend here. Walking at her pace while doing the damn thing on a children's cartoon as well? Freaky ass father, yo. Right in front of his kids as well. I mean, sir, that's their mother. You could at least wait for the kids to go to bed first. Hey man, cartoons back in the day really ain't give a fuck. But you know what? I'm not even mad at the father. I truly believe him doing this is his way of coping with all of the bullshit going on. You know he gotta keep busting his ass to keep paying for all the repairs at home. If I was him, I just want to come home, eat, shower, and have some fun time with wifey before going to sleep. That's it. So you know what? I understand him. Back to the parents being clueless though. In one episode, Dexter comes into contact with some aliens and pretty much hands over Dee Dee to them so that they could experiment on her opposed to his ass. Later in the evening, Dexter's mom asked him where Dee Dee was and he just tells her that his sister was staying at a friend's house. The father is there not saying shit, probably can't wait to finish his food to go upstairs in the bedroom to end his day with Thicko over there, but Hipzilla doesn't even offer any pushback. Your daughter is sleeping over at a friend's house without telling you, and you're fine with that? You don't even want to make a call and follow up on that story? Seriously, man, are these parents even real? You know what, the more I think about it, the parents really might not f with Dee Dee. Now here is what can be the only explanation for why the parents let so much slide. In this episode, Dexter tries to understand what a girl truly is, so he ends up going to Dee Dee's room and hides as he spies on Dee Dee and her two friends. After getting caught and scurrying off, one of Dee Dee's friends mentions how Dexter is weird, to which Dee Dee replies that Dexter is special needs.
Dee, yo bro is weird.
Oh no, he just has special needs.
The repetitive motion of this strange ritual, which can last for hours at a time, is perhaps an inherited genetic defect.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this part, because this piece of information explains a lot. Personally, this makes me question Dexter's reality, since what we see is mainly through his perspective. But despite that, we still see what the parents are truly like when he isn't involved in any scenes. So, I'ma just leave that point right there. Anyway, the parents really aren't shit when you look beyond the cartoon just being silly for children though. When Dexter gave Dee Dee a potion that turned her into a monster, and he drank some as well afterwards in an attempt to handle her, he ends up forming a cocoon. Probably unwillingly, but whatever. He evolved into a bigger monster. The show indicated that months passed by. Yeah, just look for yourself. Months. Calendar pages just flying off this bitch. You know damn well the parents didn't do shit. Nothing in this show has shown me otherwise. If anything, it gave them a break from the kids and all the explosions and damages done to the home, and it gave them more time for them to be alone to themselves. You know, with Dexter and Dee Dee doing all the bullshit that they do, if I were their parents, maybe I would have been in relief knowing that they were nowhere to be found. Yeah, maybe true happiness is the kids you lose along the way. Okay, that actually is pretty morbid, I'm just kidding. Jokes aside though, maybe that's why they never tripped out when they'd asked them where their other sibling was at the time. The parents probably are just hoping that they vanished to give them less trouble to deal with. Before I go any further, I gotta dissect the mother since I've been pussyfooting around with her. Now, I'm not sure what these people were thinking when they made her. In fact, I never thought anything about the mother watching this as a kid. But then all of these years pass by, and then you question what the animators were really on back in the day. In no way am I mad or complaining, but man, that waist to hip to thigh ratio is insane. Yeah, shout out to whoever... Bro, look at it! Damn. What was I saying, man? Yeah, whoever... Jesus Christ! Yo, that is a feat! That is actually crazy. Man, hold up a sec. Okay, so I just threw this together real quick. We all know Miss Incredible is queen, and if you disagree, you might need to get your brain checked out. Now, Dexter's mom gotta be a number 2 for me, I'm not gonna lie. You know what? Given the size of Big Mom, she kinda might have to be a number 1. Nah, I'm just kidding. Funny thing is, I already know someone is gonna be pissed off for me making this tier list. They'll probably say this is trash. Alright, that's enough out of me. Shout out to whoever came up with her design though. Okay, but all the horn levels down and out of the way, I do feel bad for the mother. The fact that she's a stay-at-home mom and she spends so much time in the house and constantly has to clean up all the mess left behind by her children, with the home being destroyed every week, it has to be taxing on the body and even the mind. We do see that the mother does enjoy cooking and cleaning for her family, so much so to the point that she loses it when she's unable to do those things. But she also realizes how out of whack everything would be without her staying on top of her homely duties. Deep down, she knows what kind of savages she's raised along with her husband. She knows the destruction her kids are capable of, so she must stay on top of her game. Because if she doesn't, who the hell else will? You can look and see what happened when she was resting for one episode. The house turned into utter chaos. Deep down, I believe she willingly allows what happens to happen because she trusts herself to clean up the mess afterwards. But as a result, unfortunately, all of the strain that she has to deal with constantly fixing and putting things back together has made her subconsciously block out all of the bullshit that happens at home, so she can still be the best version that her family needs her to be. As for the father though, he seems like an airhead, but he really isn't. At least with anything that doesn't have to do with the state of his children or the state of his damn home. As I've stated before, he copes with all the bullshit with going to Pound Town. Anyway, Dexter's parents might be the most oblivious parents in all of cartoon history, but he and his sister absolutely made them to be that way. Or, given all the explosions that go off, maybe Dexter has already killed his entire family, and maybe that's why his parents seem so oblivious, and that might even explain why Dee Dee is so stupid. Maybe this is all because he programmed them to be this way. What, too dark for a children's cartoon? Alright, fuck it then. Maybe it's the constant memory wipes over the time that really fried his parents' brains. Pick whatever option makes you sleep better at night.
I don't do that animal stuff, sister. I'm a straight up Homo sapien.